Shazwani Laila binti Sharil Nazran, and Aini Husta binti Azrin Mazhidi. Next, Aini. Okay, I would like to start with draw and explain in brief the evolution of both operating systems from the beginning up to today. Next. Windows 10 is a series of operating systems produced by the American multinational technology company Microsoft and released as a part of Windows NT family of operating system. It is a successor of Windows 8.1, released nearly 2 years earlier and was released to manufacturing on July 15, 2015, and broadly released for the general public on July 29, 2015. Next, Saini. Okay. There are 12 versions of Windows 10, and the earliest version is 1507, which was released on July 29, 2015, and the latest version is the 20H2, which was released on 1st July 2020. Next. The version of 1507 was in the features are the updating the start menu and the introduction of Cortana and the continuum mode and action center was upgraded and also the Microsoft Edge. Next. And in the latest version, which was in 2004, it was introducing a chat-based UI for Cortana and the ability to use Windows Hello without the need for password, and the ability to use Windows Hello pin while in it.
Okay, I will terang pasal Ubuntu. So Ubuntu is a Linux distribution based on Debian, mostly composed of free and open software. Ubuntu is officially released in 3 edition: desktop, server, and core for Internet of Things device and also robot. Next, this is the chart for Ubuntu. The earliest version is version 4.10, which is released on 20 October 2004. That's all. Next.
Okay, so this is a table for the significant features of the update for each version. So I will introduce for the earliest version and the latest version. For the earliest version, we have a Ubuntu 4.10, also known as a Woti Dot. Okay, so the significant features is a canonical first release of Ubuntu. Next. Okay, so this is another version. Next. 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 Okay, so the latest version is called Ubuntu 18.10, also known as a cosmic cuttlefish. So a significant features is a new theme named Yaru and a new icon theme is called Suru. So also have a startup speeds of pre-install Snap application will also improve. Next.
Okay, now I will explain about the memory management. Next. Okay, in Windows 10, when there is not enough RAM, Windows will move some memory into virtual memory paging. Most of the time, Windows will use RAM to store memory, but when there is not enough RAM, Windows will move some into the paging file, which is also called virtual memory. By moving the memory to virtual memory, RAM will have enough space to run the program smoothly without any interruption. Basically, virtual memory is used when Windows is run out of RAM. The virtual memory will expand and contract when needed, which results to initial and maximum size of memory. We can calculate the virtual memory in a computer with a small RAM up to 8 GB of RAM. Next. In Ubuntu, virtual memory is known as a swap Swap is a process of moving memory pages in between of RAM and hard disk. Swap paste is used when physical memory on your computer is preserved and memory is needed. The kernel allocation inactivates pages in the physical memory to the swap space, which is then creates additional space to the physical memory to meet the additional demands. In Ubuntu, swap space is divided into two forms, which are swap partition and swap file. In this, we can see how the swapping between the physical memory and the swap phase occurs. Uh, in Windows, we can see that the minimum is of 2 GB of RAM, which is the system requirement of 40 bits version of Windows, able to function at full capacity like gaming, image, and video entertaining, running suites like Microsoft Office, and having a dozen of browsers open t- and becoming possible enough to run a hardcore app like Adobe Photoshop. It feels slow but able to carry the basic capabilities. Maximum. Maximum RAM is a Windows 10 that can take 16 GB, able to run a multiple resource heavily application or virtual machine simultaneously. In a 64-bit Windows 10 Pro Enterprise Education will support 2 TB of RAM, but 64-bit version of Windows 10 Home is limited only to 120 280 GB. Next. In Ubuntu, the minimum is the linguistics kernel uses by 64-bit Ubuntu can theoretically recognize up to 17.2 billion GB for physical memory, but this is subject in practice to hardware limitation. Current AMD 64 implementation allows for up to 256 TB of physical memory, and for maximum memory in Ubuntu, for a 64-bit Ubuntu, it will recognize 2 power of 64 bits of 16 gigabytes RAM, but for a 32-bit Ubuntu, which is recognized 2 power of 32 bytes of 4 GB RAM, but in reality, for a 64-bit Ubuntu, the amount of RAM is limited to 2 power of 48, aka 256 TB of RAM.
Siapa present?
Uh, Operating system that utilizes its memory more efficiently, normal and server usage. Next. When it comes to Windows 10 in general, there are few options on boosting RAM, although it is possible, but the system will probably not function that greatly. To solve this, you can either reduce the background program service running at the same time, yet you get more RAM. Linguists such as Ubuntu will consume less RAM compared to Windows. A computer with a standardized 512 MB of RAM, linguists only allow the computer to function at full capacity, but it also depends on what tasks consume RAM. Therefore, a normal usage by user for a daily purpose like Microsoft and web browsing Windows 10 with a minimum of 2 GB is good enough, but the performance will be a bit slow. When compared to client server usage, a language like Ubuntu most recommended and need big RAM. For the tasks, and Ubuntu is also able to use at the memory efficiently.
I will present about process management. For the first question, How both systems handle process management when it comes to many process requests for CPU resource. Next. Okay, CPU or central process unit are responsible for processing and executing instruction. Different CPU have different process management and also different use or effect to the computer depending on the user. Next. Okay, this is a comparison table for Windows 10. Windows 10 use schedule class use fixed priority and dynamic priority, while Ubuntu use normal priority, fixed round robin, and fixed FIFO. For the priorities in CPU, Windows 10 prioritize of the limit thread get pushed on wake-ups and also thread priority are never lowered. While Ubuntu priorities of normal threads go up as they use CPU and the priority of interactive threads go down. Next, the second question is explain the operating system effect with the various CPU types. Next, this is the table for Intel i5. Intel i5 processors are extremely capable device if you primarily use your home computer or laptop for internet browsing and like application work. And for Intel Xeon, support for error correcting code, ECC, and memory, and have a good virtualization support. Next, for the third question, compare and recommend which operating system utilize its processor more efficient in terms of normal usage and server usage. For normal usage, Windows 10 is more efficient than Ubuntu because handling of Ubuntu is not easy. You need to learn lots of commands, while in Windows 10, handling and learning part is very easy. After that, Ubuntu is purely an operating system for programming purpose, while Windows 10 can be used for the other things. For server usage, Ubuntu is more efficient than Windows because Ubuntu is more secure in compared to Windows 10. After that, Ubuntu browsing is faster than Windows 10. Furthermore, Ubuntu system boosts faster than Windows 10. That's all.
Turn on mic.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to present about file management. For the first question is how Ubuntu and Windows 10 handle their file management. For Windows 10, files are stored in folders on different data drive like C, D, and E. And Ubuntu, files are ordered in the tree structure starting with the root directory. This root directory can be considered as the start of the file system and it further branches out various other subdirectories. The root is denoted with a /. You can think of the / directory as being similar to the C drive directory on Windows, but this isn't strictly true as Ubuntu doesn't have drive letter. So here the image, in here they have bin, boot, CD-ROM and others. For the second question is how do Ubuntu and Windows 10 separate system files and normal files? For Windows 10, system and program files are usually saved in C drive. Hard drive, CD-ROMs, printer are considered as devices. These devices are represented as drive letters like G, H. While Ubuntu, you will find the system and program files in different directories. Directories, files, and devices like hard drive, printer, mouse, keyboard, and so on are files. General file also called as normal files. They can contain image, video, program, or simply text. They can be in ASCII or a binary format. These are the most commonly used file by Ubuntu users. And for the third question is how Ubuntu and Windows 10 handles the naming convention. For Windows 10, you cannot have two files with the same name in the same folder. File names are not case sensitive in Windows 10. In this image, They have two different files with same name, which is report. If we save two files with same name, the below message will appear on the screen. While Ubuntu, you can have two files with the same name in the same directory, provided they use different case. Ubuntu file naming convention is case sensitive. Thus, sample and sample in all capital letters are two different files in Ubuntu. And the last question is how Ubuntu and Windows 10 handle system-related files, pros and cons between both. Here the tables. First point is Windows 10 is dumpster and files are present all over the place, while Ubuntu, the file system is very much organized. Files are located in chunks which are very close to each other. This makes the read-write operation very fast. Second point is Windows 10 is fatty. A lot of programs run in the background and they eat up the RAM. While Ubuntu is very lightweight, Ubuntu won't be using much RAM in the background. And the last point is Windows 10 use different data drive like C, D, E to store files and folders. But Ubuntu use a tree-like hierarchical file system.
Next, I will introduce for the security management. Next. So what is security management? Security management function of the operating system help in implementing mechanisms that secure and protect the computer system internally as well as externally. So they have two different levels. So it's internal security or the external security. Next. So the first question is how Windows 10 and Ubuntu handle their security management, focusing on user and password authentication and management. Next. Next, Annie. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Okay. So this one is Windows 10. So for the Windows 10, we introduce a Windows Hello. So Windows Hello is support for the powerless sign to the Windows or on the PC or the mobile. So this one, there are three types in Windows Hello. First is the Hello Face. Second, Windows Hello Pin and Windows Hello Fingerprint. So you can see in the image. For the Ubuntu, Ubuntu introduced for the sudo. So if the sudo is you want to make a password, so you need to key the sudo password root, so it will show a password, and then so it will show in the figure. Okay, next. So the second question is how Windows 10 and Ubuntu handle their security management, focusing on securing kernel from unauthorized access. Next. Okay, so for the Windows 10, so there are three options to secure. First is the core isolation. So core isolation is a protection against malware and other attacks by isolating computer. So there is a feature in a core isolation named memory integrity. So memory integrity is prevent malicious code from accessing high security processes in the event of an attack. The second one is a security processor. So security processor is provide additional encryption of your device. For example, security processor details. So you can find out the info of the security processor manufacturer and the version number. The third one is a secure boot. So secure boot is prevent type of malware which is called rootkit. So rootkit is a part of the entire suite of malware that can bypass local logins, record password and keystroke, transfer private files and capture cryptographic data. So next. For the Ubuntu, so Ubuntu use AppArmor. It's a access control system that let you to specify per program which file is can read, write, and execute. So AppArmor secure application by enforcing good application behavior without relying on attack signatures. So there are two modes of execution. So the first one is complaining or learning. So it's a profile violation are permitted and blocked. The second one is enforced, also known as confine, is enforced profile policy as well as log in the violation. Next. So this one is you can see in the figure that the above one is for the Windows 10. So there are three types, and Ubuntu you need to I do the sudo and then unconfine or the confine. Next. The second question is how Windows 10 and Ubuntu handle and attempt to hack your system from the internet. So I will relate that for the third-party software and how the mechanism of preventing. So next. So for the Windows 10, we have a Windows Firewall and the Windows Security. So Windows Firewall is called, also officially called it as Windows Defender Firewall. So it's a firewall component of Microsoft Windows. So there are three profiles is activated automatically for each network interface. So for the public network, private network, and the domain network. So the second one is a Windows Security. So Windows 10 includes Windows Security, which provides the latest antivirus protection. So the device will be actively protected from the moment we start the Windows 10. Windows Security continually scan for the malware, viruses, and security threats. In addition to this real-time protection, updates are downloaded automatically to help keep our device safe and protect it from threats. For the Ubuntu, the default firewall configuration tools for Ubuntu is UFW. So UFW is stand for uncomplicated firewall. So UFW is not intended to provide complete firewall functionality while its command interface, but instead provides an easy way to add or remove simple rules. It is currently main use for the port-based firewalls. Next. Yeah, so this one is a built-in firewall and network protection for the Windows 10. So there are three profiles: domain network, private network, and public network. So and then the Windows security for the Windows 10. Next. So this one is an example on how to use UFW in Ubuntu. So first we need to set the UFW enable, and then we need to open the port, and then we need to enter the rules, and then we close the port. We can use the sudo UFW deny. So another one is the result for the UFW in Ubuntu. Next. Okay, thanks. That's all from our group.
Okay, Bis.
Habis dah. Dah habis.
Okay, thank you. In terms of security, which operating system is better?
The security,
Yeah.
Ubuntu is better.
You will why?
Yeah, Ubuntu because it has the password we need to like use the sudo. So the sudo like you can use a password that is sent by the system. For the Windows 10 we set ourselves. So maybe we'll hack by another viruses. So it will like for the more security is for the Ubuntu.
Okay. In terms of file management, which better? Siapa nak jawab?
If file management, For me, it's Windows 10 because in Windows 10 in files name convention in Windows 10 can have two file with the same name, right? Because my names are not so useful in for me. File management it's Windows 10 is better.
So the mic we didn't on.
So mic tak
So
boleh.
you tak on mic.
Oh, mic tak bunyi. User friendly siapa yang lagi better?
User friendly.
User friendly mana yang lagi ni suitable?
Kalau user friendly Windows 10.
Why?
Why? Because for Windows 10 file file are stored in folders in different data drive.
Okay, thank you. Dah report dah hantar?
Dah.
Ya, sudah.
Video pun dah submit?
Dah.
Ya.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah.